Hello everyone and welcome to today's IELTS speaking class. My name is Alex and I will be doing some speaking practice today with people who are part of the IELTS Swoosh Connetics group. We'll be taking the opportunity to go through parts of the IELTS speaking exam and do some practice and get some feedback in order to provide you with as much assistance as possible in your preparations for completing the IELTS exam. So we are live on Facebook and YouTube. And for those who are part of the IELTS Swoosh Kinetics group as well, there is the opportunity to participate in order to have live practice and feedback in today's session. So welcome to all of you. Please let me know in the chat box if you are watching this live. And also, please do take advantage of opportunities to participate during the class. There will be questions that I will be asking throughout the class. So if you have the answers or if you have suggestions to the questions that I ask, then please let me know your thoughts in the chat box. So as usual, today we will, of course, be looking at elements of the IELTS speaking exam. Just before we do that, I would like to make you aware of the opportunity to take advantage of a free IELTS Masterclass. You can sign up for that today. And if you would like more details on this, then please contact support@swooshenglish.com and they will be able to provide you more information about this fantastic opportunity. So do let us know if you are wanting to take advantage of this. It is a great opportunity. And I hope as many of you as possible will take advantage of this. So hello to those who are in the class today. Hello to Alice, great to see you here. And also great to see those that have joined me in the live stream. Hello to JL as well. A good day to you. Where are you today? Let me know. Of course, I am in the UK, where it is the afternoon, but I know some of you are here and it's later on in the evening. Perhaps some of you are here as well, and maybe it's earlier on in the morning. So hello to all of you and welcome. Hello as well to Anna Karenina. Great to see you in the class today. And I look forward to doing some speaking practice with those who are in the live stream very soon. So in terms of today's class then, I want to spend some time focusing on part 3 of the speaking exam. There are some challenges with part 3. And I'll be looking at a particular aspect of this and providing some feedback in terms of how we can improve our performance in this part of the exam. So first of all, just a quick description of this part of the speaking exam. So it usually lasts for around 4 to 5 minutes. Questions will be linked to part 2 in relation to topic. The format is question and answer. So not like part 2, where obviously you have to produce a long turn. You have to speak on a topic for between 1 to 2 minutes. For part 3, there will be multiple questions that you'll be expected to respond to. This can be a bit more challenging because questions in part 3 are more abstract. In order to ensure that you give logical, clear responses, you should make sure that your answers are clear and structured. You should also make sure that you give a clear opinion in your responses, and also that you take the opportunity to explain and justify your opinion. So this is a quick overview in terms of what we should be doing in part 3. So as we've got started here, I can see some other students have joined us in the class, which is great to see. You can see that JR is here. Hello to you. Makon as well from the UAE. Good evening to you. JR, you're in the Philippines. Great to see you in the class. And Chassis, hello to you. Okay, so let's have a look then at some tips in relation to speaking part 3. So what I want to focus on is giving structured responses, as this is something which can be a challenge for part 3, where maybe the questions are difficult to answer, and so it can sometimes mean that we give answers that lack clarity and structure. So here is an overall approach that we can use to help us in giving structured responses to this part of the exam. So here is a part 3 question. We can see at the top of the screen. Is music important to people your age in your country? So when you get a speaking part 3 question like this, we should always start with a clear opener, which gives an opinion and focuses our response on the question. So the topic here is obviously music, and the specific question is whether music is important to people of your age in your country. So we can start with an opener such as the examples that I've got here. So one example is, well, I think it depends on the person. So you're giving an opinion. You're using I think, obviously, which demonstrates your opinion, and it depends on the person is the opinion that you're expressing. Another option you could use is yes, I believe so, because. So again, you're giving an opinion, you're saying that it is important to people your age and your country, and then you signal that you're going to give an explanation as to why you believe that to be the case by using, of course, because. And then another option, I reckon it's definitely important to certain people of my age. So reckon is a way to express belief. So you can see here I've used 3 different words to give an opinion. So think, believe, reckon, these are all verbs that you use to give opinions. Here it's quite a strong opinion. It's definitely important to certain people of my age. So what you're saying is that some people regard music as being important, and that's how you're starting your response to the question. So this is the key. Start with an opener. You give your opinion straight away, and make sure, of course, that what you're saying is relevant to the question. So once you've given your opener, the next thing to do is to add more detail. So same question, is music important to people your age and your country? One way we can add more detail is to use a linker such as for instance. So for instance, some people my age listen to music a lot and regularly go to concerts. So we're adding an example here to our opener. We're helping to explain and justify what we have said initially. Another way we could do this is to say music provides a strong sense of identity for many people. So again, this is just adding more detail to the opener that we provided. Even more detail we could add in the third option here by saying particularly those who are more creative or artistic. So these are all ways in which we can add an example or help to explain our opinion. The third step is to link your answer back to the question. So you've given your opinion, you've given an example or an explanation. Now you need to demonstrate how the example or explanation actually helps to support your opinion. So quite similar with writing part 2 in a sense. So ways we could do this is by stating this clearly shows that music has importance to them. So you'll see that the question has been paraphrased. So rather than just saying music is important to people my age and my country, which obviously just involves repeating a lot of the original question, we paraphrase this by saying this clearly shows that music has importance. So we take the adjective, we turn it into a noun, and we address the question that way. Or another option is to say, and this means that it represents an important part of their life. So again, we're paraphrasing in order to answer the question. Or another option, they will tend to see music as a key part of who they are. So in this case, we're using a synonym for important, we're using key instead. And once again, we are showing how our examples link back to the original question. The final thing we should do is to look at the other side of the argument. So when we're doing this, we have an example here. Let me just bring that up again. One moment. Yeah, here we are. So we have the example here of how we can look at the other side of the question. So others, clearly, looking at the other side, may not spend so much time engaging with music, and so for them, it wouldn't be of such great relevance. So it's always good with speaking part 3 if we can look at both sides of the question, because it gives us more to talk about and it helps to provide more structure to our responses. So those are the 4 steps. If we look at how we could put all of this together in an example answer. So the question, is music important to people your age and your country? So here is a full answer. Well, I think it depends on the person. For instance, some people my age listen to music a lot and regularly go to concerts. This clearly shows that music has importance to them. Others may not spend so much time engaging with music, and so for them, it wouldn't be of such great relevance. Okay, so obviously this is very clearly structured, and your answers may not be quite as structured as this, but this is what you want to aim for in your responses to part 3 questions, including all these 4 points. And if we just have a look here, we can see we've got our initial focus on the question where we give our opinion. We can see that in yellow. We've got our example and our explanation in green. And then in blue, we show how the example supports the original opinion. And then finally, we can see in pink, we look at the other side of the argument. So this is my suggested structure when it comes to answering part 3 questions. You can see that you've got 3 sentences here in total, which is a good number of sentences to use when addressing the questions for speaking part 3. And you can see that you've got some expressions to show how the different parts of the response link together. So well, in order to begin with, to signal you're giving an opinion. For instance, to show that you're giving an example. And also moving on to others as well, to signal that you are looking at the other side of the argument. And then using so to signal that you are giving an explanation in this case. So that's something to think about, something to bear in mind in today's class as you're giving your responses. Think about how you can incorporate these different points in order to provide a logical structure to your part 3 responses. So we're going to do some practice now. Just before we do, just a quick hello to Manu, who has joined the class from YouTube. Great to see you here in the class, Manu. Now let's have a look at some topics for part 3. So I used music as the example. And we've got some other questions here related to music. Obviously, for part 3, you will not be able to see the questions in the exam, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm showing them on the screen at the moment. So let's bring a student in now to do some practice with us. Alice, I'm going to bring you into the class. How are you doing there, Alice?
Fine, thank you.
Good, good. Glad to hear it.
Yes.
What time is it where you are today?
It's around 6:15 p.m.
Okay, so not too late. Then a good time to do a little bit of practice.
Sure.
Good. Okay then, Alice. So I'm going to ask you some questions related to music. And yeah, so just give me your responses to these questions.
Okay.
So first question, how important is music for young people nowadays?
Well, I think with the current generation, we call them the millennials, they adore music, and most of them identify with specific music. I realize that, for example, in my country, most of the beats that they actually engage in is music that most of us may not understand. And they're actually, most of the time, well entertained, and they are very passionate about it.
Okay. And what do you think about music education in your country?
I think most of the time in many schools, most teachers are taking the opportunity to encourage young people to engage in music in their classes. And probably even after they complete school, most of them engage in arts. Unlike in the olden days where most of the teachers and even the parents used to discourage students from engaging in certain activities.
Do you think it's true that anyone can sing with the right training?
Well, I think it all depends with whether someone actually has the interest. I remember when I was in school, or rather in the college, I used to have a principal who would force us extremely hard to try and sing, regardless of whether you had that interest or not. And I remember most of us were able to sing, especially during the Christmas carols. So I guess that so long as somebody practices, they can always improve.
And what do you think about the illegal downloading of music?
Well, I don't think it is a good idea because most of the artists have put in a lot of effort. And for them to have come up with music, it would be very unfair for anyone to go and try to download their music because it makes them lose a lot of money because they have invested a lot of their time. Some have also invested a lot of resources. So I think for us to be able to promote them, it would be important to buy their music instead of downloading.
Okay. Good. Okay, thank you very much there, Alice, for answering the questions. Lots of really good structures there in your responses.
Yeah, but initially I think I struggled a bit.
No, I thought you did. I thought you did well. You gave some nice use of vocabulary there. You referred to millennials right at the beginning, which is absolutely the younger generation. You talked about them identifying with specific music as well, and you're explaining obviously how there is a difference between the generations in terms of the music they listen to and the connection they have with that music. So yeah, it was all appropriate information you were giving, and it was clearly expressed. You were expressing opinions. You used, I think, it all depends. Well, so you were using these expressions obviously to show you were giving opinions. With linkers, the linkers you often use were and, which is obviously one of the most common linkers, and so it makes sense that you would use that. But yeah, possibly a little bit more variety could have been used there.
Like which one, Alex?
So you're just saying and as a linker. So the basic ones, we tend to use basic linkers in speaking, but things like so also on top of that, as well as that, some other expressions that tend to be used quite a lot in speaking when we're adding information. So yeah, so those could have been used just for more variety. I'll share those in the chat. And they're quite nice linking expressions, which just sort of give us a bit more variation. And just on a similar theme as well with vocabulary. So you used engage quite a lot, and engage is a great word to use. But again, just in terms of repetition, instead of, so you said engage in music, and then you talk about engaging in other things. So take part in could be a nice expression to use as well. Again, just for a bit of variety. Engage in, to take part in, which is a nice phrasal verb which you can use, which is always a good thing in speaking as well, because we do tend to use quite a lot of phrasal verbs when we're speaking. And just one more example as well. So invested, which was again very much an appropriate verb that you used. You talked about they've invested in their music, they've invested time, but a phrasal verb we could use in that case would be to put in. So you could say, they've invested a lot of money. We could say they've put in a lot of money. They've invested a lot of time. They've put in a lot of time. So just as a tip, for more variety, if you do use a word like engaged or invested, which is great words to use, to vary it up, you can switch it to a phrasal verb, and then it just provides a bit more variety in that case. But yeah, apart from that, Alice, I thought some really good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks to Alice there for starting us off. I'm going to bring Anna Karenina into the class next. So let me just bring her in. Hi there, Anna Karenina.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, we have spoken before, have we not?
Yes, last week. I'm Anna, but I put my full name here.
Okay,
Yes.
that's right. That's what I thought I recognised the name. Great. So you're calling from. Remind me which country you're calling from.
Singapore. Singapore.
Singapore. That's
Yes.
right. Great, great. Okay, Anna. So, what did you think then about part three? What do you find challenging about this part of the exam?
I think the challenging part is to like brainstorm what you are going to say, because sometimes you tend to speak so fast and then you forget the things that inside your head, so you tend to make sideways instead of
Right.
answering that question.
Right, that's the thing, isn't it? Keeping it structured. Yeah, it can be a challenge to do. Yeah, that's why it's always worth thinking about. Okay, what do I want to include in my answer? Obviously, I want to include an opinion. I want to explain my opinion, and then show how my explanation links back to the question. And then, if appropriate, if I can say something on the other side, it's good to have like an overall structure in your head just to help you if you start to clam up or if your ideas start to become a bit disorganized.
Correct.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's look at another topic together then, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to look at the topic now of friends. So I'm going to ask
Okay.
you some questions, part three questions relating to friends. So first question, do people in your country like to make new friends?
Yes, absolutely. Because since we came from the country where is very like friendly, so we tend to make friends to a lot of people, and then we are very hospitable as well. But sometimes we tend to like be shy in like being friends with another one, because we don't really know what the person's attitudes are. So yeah, so I think in my country, I'm into minds about that. Like when like the when my in my country, whether we are friendly or not.
Okay. What are some of the different ways friends are often reunited?
I think we are often reunited when we are having a party, like dinner or Christmas party or Valentine's Day. We came together to enjoy and reminisce our old memories, like when we were still younger. And aside from that, we also, like when we have like 10 years reunion, we also like have to go to attend to that specific party. So I guess at one point we usually like to be reunited with our friends.
In what ways are social media useful for reuniting people?
Yeah, absolutely. Because as the pandemic is ongoing, I think we are not allowed to go out now. So we tend to use video calling instead of going out, to be able to reconnect and reestablish our communications with our friends. So yes, for now we just do online reconnection, not as like face-to-face encounter.
Which are the most popular social media sites in your country?
I would say Facebook, because I think Filipinos are an avid user of Facebook. And also I think Zoom, because most of the time in my country, in regards to education as well as meetings or whatnot, they're using video callings for conferences. So yeah, I guess like online conference is a must these days.
Okay. Thank you very much for your responses there, Anna. Yeah, some
Yes.
so some really good responses there. Um, I think yeah, in terms of expressing your opinion, you're using expressions like yes, absolutely, and then went on to give examples. Use some nice vocabulary as well. Hospitable was a nice vocabulary item that you used. You also showed as well that you were on the fence to use that expression. You used the expression that I'm in two minds about that. So yeah, that's a nice expression. You could also say I'm on the fence as well. That would be an idiomatic expression to express a similar idea. So so that was really nice, Anna. Also, your audio went out a little bit, but did you use the word reminisce?
Yes, reminisce.
Yeah, that's a very nice word to use as well. So you're talking about sort of people becoming reunited, spending time together again. So yeah, that was great. Just be careful. So even though you used yes, absolutely, very appropriately for the first question that I asked, when I asked the question, in what ways are social media useful for reuniting people, you said, yeah, absolutely. But that wasn't actually an appropriate way to begin the answer to that question, because the question was, in what ways are social media useful? So the best way to start that would be, well, there are a number of ways social media brings people together. For example, it allows people to reconnect who are in different countries. Yeah. Also, it means that during situations that are extreme, such as this pandemic, people can still keep in contact. So just be careful that your openers are relevant to the questions that are being asked. So that's just a point on that. Yeah, there's an expression you used as well where you said make friends to a lot of people, but if you make friends, you make friends with.
With,
So
yeah.
exactly, yeah, just that preposition there. And then you talked about people being friends with another one, but the expression you want to use here is being friends with each other. So yeah, that's what you use when you're talking, two people, they do something mutually, they do something with each other. But yeah, thank you very much, Anna.
Thank
and
you.
thank you for your great responses.
Thank you.
That's great. Okay. So we're going to continue doing some more practice. Let me bring in now Shirley. So I'll just bring Shirley into the class. Hi there, Shirley.
Yes, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you on this afternoon?
I'm good.
Great. Great to hear it. Okay, Shirley, where are you at the moment? Remind me. I think we did speak last week, didn't we?
No, I don't have a chance to be with you last week. I'm
Okay.
in United Arab Emirates,
That's
UAE.
it, right, the UAE. What are your thoughts on speaking part 3 then, Shirley? Which aspect of it do you find a bit of a struggle?
Well, for me, is using connectors. I'm not good at it. I think the one you have said to Alice, that the only also and but the usual thing only that I could use.
Okay,
So
good. So just having a bit more variety with some of the connecting phrases.
yes.
That is a useful thing, because obviously the connectors you use in speaking are often quite different to the connectors you use in writing. So yeah, having natural sounding connectors, yeah, that is a useful thing to have. Okay then, so Shirley, we're going to do some part 3 questions. Let's have a look at a new topic. This time we're looking at the topic of celebrity. So my first question to you, what influences can famous people have on society?
Well, I believe that famous people could have a big impact on our society because we are looking up to them. And so it could be positive or negative influence. So it depends to who are the uh, famous people we are looking up to. So, but most of the time, it's always a positive impact that they have given to us, especially those who are the talented person that we are looking up to.
Okay, why do businesses hire famous people?
I think it's because why do people hire people? Sorry, I think it's because famous people are actually one good example for as I've said, famous people are we are looking up to them, so we're trying to imitate them. So business do hire them because probably they will be
Hello, Shirley? Hello? Okay, we seem to have lost
hello. Sorry.
That's okay. We just lost
Yeah.
your audio there for a moment.
Yeah, I think I was disconnected. So anyway, I think businesses hire famous people for their interests, so they could get more consumers for their business.
Okay. How does social media influence human behavior?
I think social media are very influential in a way that whatever we see in the social media, we try to imitate and to copy them. That's why there's a lot of advertisements as well in the social media, because this is one way to attract the buyers and consumers to, yeah, something like that.
Okay. Do you think that celebrities influencing young people is a positive or a negative thing?
For me, it depends. If the famous people are showing a positive outlook in life, or positive things that youth can can be, because famous people can be a role model. So of course, it would be a positive impact for the youth.
Okay, thank you very much there, Shirley. So we got you back, which was great. So you're able to answer those questions. Yeah, so it was good. The responses were good. You expressed your opinion. I think it's because, which was a start in answering one of the questions, which is again a great way to start. Show that you're giving an opinion and an explanation at the same time. There was some good paraphrasing for words in the question as well. So instead of influence, you use the term impact. So that was great to see. Yeah, and also you didn't just repeat the same words in your response. So you use imitate, but also copy as well. Another good vocabulary you used was role model, obviously in relation to celebrities. So that was really good. Just some points in terms of where I think there were some vocabulary errors. So at one point you talked about looking after celebrities. You said we're looking after them. But the expression I think you wanted to use was we look up to them.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you look up to, that means that you respect them, you want to copy them. But if you look after someone, that means to take care of them. So quite a different meaning there. So just be careful about your use of those expressions.
Did I say look after them or look?
It sounded like you said look after. What did you say?
Look after them. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, look up to is the expression that you want to use there. And also, you said at one stage that the reason why businesses hire famous people is because it's you said it's for their interests. So the expression, I could understand the meaning. The meaning was clear, but I think the expression you want to use is to take advantage of. So to take advantage of celebrity endorsements and the impact that celebrities have on the general public. Yeah. So that would be a reason why they hire them, to take advantage of their influence. So just a couple of expressions there. But oh yeah, and just finally as well, depends. You said it depends to who they are. I think you got it right actually later on, but just be careful that you are consistent. So depends on is the preposition we use. So it depends on a situation or a person.
Depends on.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, thank you very much, Shirley, and yeah, well done for getting involved and doing some practice with me today.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so before we bring our next student into the class, let me just remind you about the free IELTS Masterclass that we are offering at Swoosh at the moment. There's an opportunity for you to take advantage of this class if you sign up today to do so. And if you want more information about this, please do contact support@swooshenglish.com and they will provide all of those details. Okay, so we're going to move on to one more topic with part 3. And then after that, we will finish off with a part 2 question as well. So let's see who we can bring in next in order to do some more practice. We've got Clary in the class, so let me bring Clary in. Okay.
Hi.
Hi there. How are you doing? Is it Clary? Is that
Fine. Yeah, it's clearly. Yes. Yes, you
Clary?
got it right. Yes,
Brilliant.
you got it right.
And where are you? Where are you at the moment, Clary?
At the moment, I'm staying here in Riyadh. I'm living here in Riyadh for 9 years
Ah,
already.
oh, wow, it's a long time.
Yes.
A long time in Riyadh. And how is life in Riyadh at the moment?
At the moment, the weather is changing now. It's a little bit windy and dusty. Tomorrow, we're expecting a little bit cold. It'll be a little bit cold, and then the next day we'll experience a warmer temperature, warmer weather.
Okay. I always think of
Mm.
the Middle East as being hot all the time, but
Yes, actually, there are
yeah.
two. I'm just I'll just brief you.
Go on.
There are two. Yes, there are two types of weather. The dry cold and the dry hot. So yeah,
Okay. So it's
all
always
dry,
dry.
but there's hot and cold. Yeah.
Okay. So, Clary, are you ready to do some part 3 practice with me today?
Yeah, sure.
Great. Okay, so let's have a look then at the next topic that we can practice together. So we're going to look at the topic of laughter, which is
Yes.
a nice topic, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So first question then, Clary, do you think people of all ages like cartoons?
Cartoons for me doesn't define any age. So it encompasses cartoons encompasses all people, um regardless of their age, maturity, and uh gender, like that. So I find cartoons for fit for everyone.
Okay. Why do you think generally children enjoy cartoons?
Children enjoy cartoons generally because it's colorful. Like I have a 1-year-old son now, so he enjoys cartoons a lot. Like the movie Up with all the balloons and the colorful balloons and the animals there, the adventure, the sounds, all of these factors affects the children's senses. That's why children enjoy cartoons more.
And why do children laugh so much?
Children laugh so much maybe because of the stimulation that they get from the cartoons that they watch. Like what I've said, it stimulates their senses, their sense of sight because of the colors, their sense of hearing because of the different sounds that they hear, and also the overall impact of the movie. Like they would enjoy that, they would laugh at it with those silly stuff that the cartoons are doing, or the movie or the cartoon movie is presenting.
Do
Yeah.
you think happiness is a state of mind?
Happiness is a state of mind. As for me, yes, happiness is a state of mind because even though I find it as, like, for example, you are in a difficult situation, but you tend to try to see the positive side, even though everything that's happening is like on the negative side. So you tend to like you tend to feed yourself with happiness. So it depends on the person. It's all
Okay.
in the state of mind.
Okay. Thank you very much for those responses, Claire.
Thank you.
Very, very nice. So I particularly like some of the structures you were using here. So obviously that was what I began the class with. So it's great to hear you using some original ones. So for example, when giving your opinion, you used for me, which is obviously another way in which you can do that. Also
Mm.
use maybe as well. So maybe, which is a way to give an opinion as well, because
Yes.
you're showing it's
Mm.
something that's possible. And then you said maybe because, so obviously then you went on to give an explanation too. You're giving examples, use expression for example, and other linking devices you're using as well. You used even though, which was nice, a very nice linking device to use
Mm.
as a contrast between 2 points. And then a final example I picked up on as well was that you said, that's why, so that's a great way of linking your explanation back to the question,
Yeah.
which was step 3 that I was looking at. So it's great to hear you doing that. So some really good structures you were using there in your responses, Claire. Just a couple of points. So just the word encompasses. I think the stress on it was just slightly off when you said
Okay.
it.
Yeah, how do you pronounce it right? Can you teach me?
Indeed, yeah. So it's on the second syllable. So it's encompasses. Encompasses.
Encompasses. Okay.
Exactly. So really nice word to use, yeah, but just second syllable stress.
Second
Uh,
syllable. Okay. Okay, I got it. I got it.
Brilliant. I'll just put that in the chat as well with the stress. And also just some slips as well in terms of using singular and plural references with
Yes.
verbs. So you said cartoons doesn't define my age, is what you said. So cartoons plural, so you would use don't as opposed to doesn't
Oh, yeah. Yes,
in
yes.
that
Okay, okay.
case. Yeah. And then when you're referring to cartoons, you said because it's colourful, but again, obviously plural reference, so because they are or they're colourful.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, okay. Okay.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
just a few slips with that.
Mm, mm.
And I think as well, just that expression use as well, that cartoons doesn't define by age. I think I could, again, the meaning was clear, but in terms of expressing it just a bit more accurately, I think you could have said that it doesn't matter how old you are. Um,
Oh, okay.
we can
Okay.
all watch cartoons. Yeah.
Mm,
So I think that
okay.
was it. Yeah. But yeah, apart from that, you did really well, and Maria, Mary, really appreciated that in the comments she's left. She said you did really well. So thank you very much, Claire.
Thank you. Thank you so
That's great.
much.
Okay. So let's see who else we've got in the class today who we haven't practiced with yet. Summer, I'm just going to bring you into the class now. How are you doing,
Hello,
Summer?
Alex. I'm
Hi.
good.
Good. I'm glad to hear
Yeah.
it. How's your week been?
Oh, right now I'm on leave, so I'm just concentrating on my review, but still struggling.
Okay. There's still some challenges to meet, are there?
Yeah.
But you're getting there. You put in the time, you put in the effort, you will get there.
Yes, just
Okay.
positive.
Positivity, exactly. State of mind,
Yes.
as Claire was just saying. It's all about your state of mind. Okay, so for the final part of the class, I wanted to do a little bit of part 2 practice, just
Oh.
to finish off with something a little bit different. So just a quick reminder then for part 2. The section in total usually lasts for 3 to 4 minutes. You are, of course, presented with a question. You then have a minute to prepare your response to that question. You should always aim to speak for the full 2 minutes because the examiner will potentially wait for the full 2 minutes for you to give your response. So you don't want to be pausing so that the examiner has to intervene. you want to keep going for the 2 minutes. That's the best way to prepare.
Okay.
Okay, so are you ready for me to present you with a part 2 question? Summer.
Okay, no choice. I'm
You're here now. You're here
yeah.
Okay, well, here is the question. Describe an ideal job you'd like to do in the future. Okay, so you have a minute, Summer, to prepare your response to this question.
Just happened to me. Ideal job.
Okay, Summer, are you ready to begin?
Hold on, ha. My mic is like there's something wrong.
Are you having a problem with the microphone?
Yeah, I cannot really hear. Okay, hold on. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. So if you want to begin. Oh, have we lost her? Oh dear, looks like we've lost Summer there. Okay. Maybe she will come back, but let me just bring in another participant just in case. Unfortunately, we're not able to get Summer back. Netra, I'm just bringing you in. Are you okay, Netra?
Yes, I'm okay.
Brilliant. Okay, Netra, I can see that Summer has just come back, so I'm just going to bring her in, and then I'll bring you in for the next question. Is that okay?
Yes, okay, sir.
Brilliant. Okay, I'll bring you in soon. Thank you, Netra. So I can see Summer's just popped in. Hi there, Summer. Are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, so you have 2 minutes then, Summer. Please describe an ideal job you'd like to do in the future.
If given a chance to choose a stable job, or let me say it's just ideal work, so I guess I still choose to be a nurse, because this profession is a noble job, and it really a rewarding feeling if you can see a patient that improve from their critical times. At the same time, you're able to extend your help to their family. So I I believe that this profession, it's also a calling to individuals, because if you're really not into this kind of profession, for sure, uh, it it's difficult for you to engage to the different kinds of diseases. So that's why, for me, I'm still love this profession, because not only to help others, but also um, to extend. I mean, this job is a stable job, so I can have um, I can save more. Then through this, by saving, I can also help others, my family, and also my extended family. I can share with them. At the same time, it is a good thing to know more about in medical field, because we are uh, we are facing different kinds of diseases nowadays. So if you're on medical side, it's easy for you to handle, at, and as long as you're open with it. So still the same, no changes. If still given
Okay,
a chance, I
thank you.
still want to be. Yes.
Thank you very much there, Summer. Great. Okay, so the first point I want to make here is that you did something very sensible. You reinterpreted the question. So you're happy with your job, which is great to hear. So you didn't talk about an ideal job, you just talked about your current job and the benefits of that. And that's absolutely fine. You can reinterpret the question in that way, if that is what is most relevant to you. So yeah, in terms of talking about job vocabulary, you gave some really nice adjectives. You talked about your job being stable. You said it's a stable job. You said it was noble. You said it was provided a rewarding feeling. So all of these vocabulary items were really nice to use within this context. And also, I like the fact that you're using phrases as well to link your ideas together. So things like "at the same time" is another great linker that you used, and also you used not only is it beneficial because of one thing, but also said not only am I helping people, but also I'm improving my knowledge. So great the way that you were providing those expressions to link your ideas. Just in terms of some comments moving forward. So you said that you can extend your help. So with help, I think a more natural verb to use would be to provide help.
Okay.
Yeah, I think would be slightly more natural. Yeah, and just at one point you said I can, with your family, you said I can share with them. But if you use share, then you have to say share plus the object. So share what? Share, is it to share?
Oh,
Share
share
your
some.
wealth, or, yeah.
Yeah, well.
Share your experience.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, there has to be something there. And just a final grammatical step. You also said that you can engage to, but with engage we'd use with, to engage with something or someone. Yeah. So yeah, so
preposition.
Exactly, just the preposition there. Yeah, engage plus with. But aside from that, yeah, really good stuff. So well done for making the question relevant, so that you could obviously keep speaking on it for the required time. And yeah, thank you very much, Summer, for joining us today. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care. Okay, so Netra, I'm going to bring you in now so that we can do some practice. Welcome back, Netra.
Yes, thank you, Sri, thank you, Alex.
No worries, no worries. How's your week been?
Yeah, it was excellent.
Excellent.
Being practice. Only speaking practice. Yeah.
Oh, have you got your exam coming up soon?
No, not yet. I haven't booked it. Yeah.
But you're just getting your confidence up, building up your skills. Okay,
that's
great.
True.
Great to hear. Okay, so we're going to finish with another speaking part 2 question. This time, Netra, on the topic of technology.
Okay.
So you have a minute then to prepare your response to this question.
Okay.
Okay, Netra, are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so describe a time when your computer had problems.
Okay. Here I would like to describe one issue with my computer. Recently, last week itself, as we are actually like nowadays glued to our computers and our laptops and our handheld gadget called mobile, and every now and then we are doing all kind of transaction, online shopping, everything is online during this pandemic especially. So what happened last week, actually I actually wanted to do some online transaction to pay my some utility bills by using Google Pay application. And since last 1 year I have been using this application, and I never face any issue with that application. But there was actually some problem with my computer and I was unable to open that particular application, and I was frustrated. Literally 1 hour I was trying to help me out, but it was out of my control. And finally my son, he is really excellent in computers and technology, and he knows much about all those systems and some software issues. So he came for my help and he could fix that problem. But it was actually delayed for that payment because one of my colleague was waiting for that transaction, and that transaction actually I should have completed that transaction within an half an hour. Then only it was actually beneficial for me. But because of that computer issue, I could not do that. And after that, I just sent sorry message, and really it was a great this thing. I lost that. Means whatever I wanted to do, I could not do that because of that delayed transaction. So
Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
we should know.
Thank
Okay.
you very much, Netra. Yeah, so a lot of content there. So a lot of content. You know, you obviously showed that you have the vocabulary knowledge and the fluency to be able to provide a lot of information on this topic. But I would just say right from the outset, my advice would be just to slow down a little bit, because
Yeah.
you do speak very quickly, very quickly. So yeah, go
Yeah,
on.
I'm just trying a lot, sir, to slow down myself. But even though I'm practicing since last 3 months, we have been practicing with my speaking buddies, and every time I'm getting that feedback that you need to slow down, slow down. But whenever I'm in part 2 and part 3, I don't know what is happening with me. I'm just
You just
going
speed up.
fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
How I can do that? Just any remedies for that?
I mean, yeah, it must come naturally. I don't know if it's partly to do with nerves, partly to do with
Yeah.
naturally you tend to speak quite quickly. But yeah, I was just thinking as you're speaking at some point, I was like, take a breath.
Yeah, holding the
Take it.
breath. Yeah, holding the
Yeah,
breath
take
and
a breath.
just yeah.
And the thing is as well, if you slow down a bit, you'll be able to use more intonation. Because if you speak very quickly, it's difficult to show variety in your
Intonation.
intonation.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. So think about just maybe sort of taking a breath a bit more, just slowing it down just a little bit, and then in that way, because now, as we're talking now, you're actually showing more intonation than you were when you were doing the part 2 practice. So yeah, I think that's what you speed it up and you
And
actually lose features of pronunciation.
if I record myself and listen me back, then will it be helpful, sir?
Yes, I definitely. I
Uh,
always see
okay.
that as a very helpful thing, because if you can then listen to how quickly you're speaking, then you can start to think, okay, more consciously, okay, I could have slowed down there, I could have slowed down there, I could have used more
Yeah,
information here.
self-assessment. Yeah, self-assessment by doing self-assessment. Okay.
Exactly, and also
Okay.
really good
I
that
haven't
you're doing stuff.
started that. I will start that. Yeah, doing that.
Good. It's also really good you're doing
Thank
stuff
you.
with your speaking partner as well, because your speaking partner can then maybe sort of say, look, because you're speaking so quickly, it's difficult for me to focus on what you're saying. So maybe if you could slow down here.
Most of my speaking buddies are giving that feedback that it's quite difficult for them to understand me.
Here's a tip: tell them to interrupt you if they think you're speaking too fast. That's what I would say. Like if I was in your position, I would say, like, interrupt me once I start going too fast, and then when they interrupt you, like consciously, okay, I'll slow down a bit.
Sometimes I do tell them that you just stop me in between if I'm fast.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good thing.
Yes, thank you.
No
I'll start
worries.
recording. Yeah, I will start recording.
Yeah, so that would be the main thing. But yeah, some really good use of vocabulary there, Netra, and also the fact that obviously you're able to speak, include so much vocabulary shows that you have a good range of English as well. So nice expression used as well, to like glued to. You said like glued to our computers. That was a nice expression that you used. But yeah, it was a bit difficult to follow you, just because of the speed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next Friday, maybe I will
Yeah.
slow down.
Look forward to it.
Throughout
look
the week, I will record myself and I will see how I can improve that one.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good technique, Netra. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you so much for all those who have participated in the class today. It just remains for me to make you aware once again of the free IELTS Masterclass that we have available here at Swoosh English. This is what we're offering to our students. So you can sign up for that today. And if you would like more information on that, do contact support@swooshenglish.com and you will get all the information you need to help you sign up for that masterclass. And it is a great opportunity to take advantage of. So once again, just a thank you to all those who've participated, both directly in the class and also those who have commented in the YouTube and Facebook groups. It's always great to get your feedback and your participation in these classes. So I look forward to reading your comments in our next class as well. Until then, have a great weekend and take care.